بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Correct your intentions. We were talking about al-fi'l al-mudari'. So, quick review here. He says, وَأَمَّا الْمُضَارِعِ As for مُضَارِع فهو ما كان في أوله إحدى الزوائد الأربع. It is what has in its beginning في أوله إحدى الزوائد الأربع. Let me point out something to you here. إحدى, that's feminine. إحدى is feminine of أحد. إحدى الزوائد الأربع. One of the four additions. وهي الهمزة والنون والتاء والياء. يجمعها قولك أنيت أو أتينا أو نأتي. Has one of these four additional letters. حرف زائد, not pronoun. It's a proof for the pronoun. It's a proof for the pronoun. Let me explain that again for you. You say يضرب and تضرب and نضرب and أضرب. Okay. There is no pronoun here in what I have written. What are the pronouns? I'm going to write the disconnected ones. But pronouns have different forms. I want you, when I say pronouns here, I want you to understand the meaning. You know, there's the speaker and the one spoken to and the one spoken about. Yani, those are the pronouns before I write all of that. Those are the pronouns. The speaker, the one spoken to, and the one spoken about. The speaker, that sounds slightly vague. So does the speaker have a name? Yes. His name is, in English, his name is I. In Arabic, his name is Ana. That's the speaker's name. The name of the speaker. Ismul al-mutakallim. That's why the ism in Arabic is a name. That's why I was at first averse to using the word noun, because doesn't give the same meaning really as name. The ism in Arabic is a name. The pronoun is an ism. It's a name. So there's a name for the speaker, a name for the one spoken to, a name for who's spoken about. So the speaker, he's ana, or if there's someone with him, he's nahnu. The one spoken to is anta, for example, or anti or antuma. We have here nadrib, so that goes there. So I didn't follow my thing there. MashaAllah. Yani yadrib refers to huwa, the one spoken about. Tadrib could refer to anta, the one spoken to. Nadrib, nahnu, the speaker with someone with him. And adrib, ana, the speaker. Where's the pronoun here? Pronoun in these cases is damir mustatir. Damir mustatir. Veiled pronoun. Damir mustatir. I've been saying built in. You have damir mustatir in English. You say go. So it means you. Okay. So there's no pronoun here. We're talking about these letters here. Huruf mudara'ah. These letters indicate the pronoun. The pronoun being one of those three, with its different variances. Might be masculine or feminine or singular or dual or plural. That's what I was about to go through some trouble for. Any question? He said, يَجْمَعُهَا قَوْلُكَ أَنَيْتْ أَوْ أَتَيْنْ أَوْ نَأْتِي. You know what that's about there. That's for memorization purposes, for sake of memorization. You can merge those letters in this way. فَالْهَمْزَةُ لِلْمُتَكَلِّمِ وَحْدَهُ وَالنُّونُ لَهُ إِذَا كَانَ مَعَهُ غَيْرُهُ. Hamza is for the speaker alone. The noon is for him. Who's him? وَنُونُ لَهُ. You're always going to take your pronouns back to where they belong. And the noon is for the mutakallim. إِذَا كَانَ مَعَهُ غَيْرُهُ. The noon is for the speaker when there was with him someone else. وَالتَّاءُ لِلْمُخَاطَبِ مُفْرَدًا. And the ta is for the addressee, the one spoken to. مفردا أو مثنى أو مجموعة, singular or dual or plural. مذكرا كان أو مؤنثا, masculine, be it masculine or feminine. وللغائبة المفردة ولمثناها. And for the absent singular feminine and its dual. So غائبة, by adding the ta, he means to talk about the feminine one. ولمثناها. والتاء للمخاطب مفردا أو مثنى أو مجموعة. The ta is for the mukhatab, the addressee, singular or dual or plural, male, masculine, be it masculine or feminine. وَلِلْغَائِبَةِ. And for the ta is not only for mukhatab, yani ta is for, can prove two pronouns. Ta can prove two pronouns. In the beginning of the fi'l MuDaari we're talking about here, that ta could indicate the one being spoken to, or could indicate the one being spoken about. Meaning, you say tadrib here, and you say tadrib anta. Look at the contrast between those two. Tadrib here, tadrib anta. This one here, feminine. This one is masculine. Tadrib here, this one is spoken about. This one is spoken to. But both of them are singular. I put 3 there for third person, 2 for second person. Tadribu hiya, tadribu anta. So the ta is for the addressee, and for al-ghaiba, the female who's spoken about, the absent one. Mufrada, singular. وَلِمُثَنَّاهَا. And for the dual. Okay, you'll review that inshallah. وَالْيَاءُ لِلْغَائِبِ الْمُذَكَّرِ مُفْرَدًا كَانَ أَوْ مُثَنًّا أَوْ مَجْمُوعًا. And the ya is for the masculine one spoken about, absent one, be it singular or dual or plural. وَلِجَمْعِ الْمُؤَنَّثَةِ الْغَائِبَةِ. And for the plural of the feminine who's spoken about. The plural of the feminine spoken about. Yani, they. Alright, you review all of that inshallah. وَهَذَا يَصْلُحُ لِلْحَالِ وَالِاسْتِقْبَالِ. Okay. Alhamdulillah, there's something here I wanted to point out to you that I didn't point out last time because I didn't want to say too many things at once. So here, al-istiqbal, how do you read that? This is printed properly. That's nice. Because this, to do this wrong, which would be to put a hamza in here, is famous mistake. You won't be surprised to find it. Then someone would read this, wal istiqbal, which is wrong. Because, as you know, originally that's hamzatul wasl there. Istiqbal. What's hamzatul wasl for? It's just so you can start the word. Only so you can start the word. Because you can't start a word with a sukoon. So you summon a haraka. Or you conjure a haraka so you can start the word. And that haraka is going to be on a letter. So that letter is going to be a hamza. Hamzatul wasl. So if you're not starting with it, then you don't use it. So you always go right through it as long as you're not starting with it. Even if al is in front of it. Wal-istiqbal. So we put that al there. What happens is that the kasra relocates to the lam. And you say al-istiqbal. Taqul, you say Zaydun yaf'alu al-an. وَيُسَمَّى حَالًا وَحَاضِرًا. You say Zayd does now, and that's called present. So both of those words translate as present. Hal means, that's what yani means. But the word hadir, you could use it for place. It means present. So you're doing roll call. So someone calls your name. So you say hadir, present. It means in place. But here, verbs refer to time. أو زيد يفعل غدا, or Zayd does tomorrow. ويسمى مستقبلا, and it's called then future. So you can call فعل مضارع فعل الحال, الفعل الحاضر, the present verb, present tense verb, and you can call it فعل المستقبل, the future verb. And sometimes they would use these names, they just mean مضارع. They don't necessarily always mean it's for the present or the future if they use one of these words, the scholars. Sometimes. They just mean الفعل المضارع. فإذا أدخلت عليه السين أو سوف فقلت سيفعل أو سوف يفعل اختص بزمان الاستقبال. So if you prefix to it the sin or sofa and then you said سيفعل or سوف يفعل, it will be particular to the future time. It will be special to future time, the time of the future. وإذا أدخلت عليه اللام, and if you prefix to it the lam, which lam is that? That's lam al-ibtida', the lam of starting. It's also called lam al-tawkid, the lam of emphasis. اختص بزمان الحال, then it will be special to the present time, or the time of the present. Now this is where we are. Any question? So the author says, فَالْمَبْنِيُّ لِلْفَاعِلِ مِنْهُ, the verb that is configured for the doer, for the fi'l mudari' is ما كان حرف المضارعة منه مفتوحا, is what has its mudari' verb, its mudari' letter, what has its mudari' letter, that means the first letter, with a fatha or given a fatha. So you say yadribu, and you say yastaf'ilu, starts with fatha, even though it has more letters. It's fi'l mudari', whether that's noon or hamza or ya there. إلا ما كان ماضيه على أربعة أحرف, except that which its past tense has 4 letters. فإن حرف المضارعة منه يكون مضموما أبدا, for indeed the mudari' letter in this case would be given a dhamma always. نحو يدحرج ويكرم ويقاتل ويفرح, like these verbs that I just read for you now. Yudahrij. So what's the past tense for that? Past tense for that is dahraja. 4 letters. Dahraja. So then in mudari', its mudari' letter is going to take a dhamma. Yudahriju. And yukrimu, the maldi was akrama. Akrama. So you say akrama yukrimu, and qatala yuqatilu, and farraha yufarrihu. So that's clear, inshaAllah ta'ala. Let's back up. فَالْمَبْنِيُّ لِلْفَاعِلِ مِنْهُ, the one that is configured for the verb. What does that mean? So you know, this is what they call in English active voice. This is active voice. So it's the topic of active voice versus passive voice. That means, basically, which is clearer in Arabic the way they say it, it means, is the subject of the sentence the doer of the verb, or is the subject of the sentence the receiver of the verb? The original way is for the subject of the sentence to be the doer of the action. But there's a way you can configure your sentence so that the subject of the sentence is the receiver of the action as opposed to the original way. So originally you'd have an action and someone doing the action, and it could be that there's something that receives this action. So that's everything spelled out there. But there's a way to remove the doer of the action from the sentence, and that only leaves the action and the receiver. Then we're going to have to configure this verb to take this receiver as a subject. We can't leave the verb the way it is, or else it's going to be confusing. So that's going to be mabniyun lil maf'ul, configured for the receiver, what they call passive voice. So he wants to tell us al-mabniyu lil fa'il, the verb that's configured for the doer, which is the normal way. It's going to have a fathah on the MuDaari letter unless the past tense of that MuDaari has 4 letters. And here, there's a detail that's important. When we say unless the Madi has 4 letters, for if it has 4 letters, then the MuDaari is going to start with a Dhamma. That includes whether those 4 letters were original letters, all of them, or if some of them were extra letters. So, for example, the author told us yudahriju and yukrimu and yuqatilu and yufarrihu. Here's a question. So originally there is 3 parts to an action, a doer, and 3 parts, an action, a doer, and a receiver. No, originally there's 2 parts, a doer and an action. That's most fundamental. That's called umdah. Without umdah, you have no sentence. Everything else is fadlah, extra. Receiver is fadlah, extra, not vital to the sentence, not an integral of the sentence. But it could be that you need the fadlah for completing the meaning, not as an integral of the sentence. What I'm saying to you now goes back to al-fi'lu al-lazim wal-fi'lu al-muta'addi. Fi'lun lazim has no maf'ul. Intransitive verb does not take an object fundamentally. So that's definitive proof that the minimum of a sentence is fi'l and fa'il, or mubtada and khabar. So here, the authors told us these verbs, yudahriju, yuqatilu, yukrimu, and yufarrih. I'm saying to you this rule, which is that if the past tense is 4 letters, then the MuDaari is going to start with a Dhamma. This includes whether all the Madi letters are original or if some of them are extra. It's going to be one of them. Can't be less than 3. So, are they all original, or is one of them an extra letter? So, in that, we have, out of these 4 examples, one that has all original letters. So, what would the wazn, the pattern of dahraja be? Who can tell us? Give you 15 count. The wazn of dahraja. 15. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Fa'lala, barakallahu feek. Fa'lala. Fa'lala. Remember, If any of the original letters are more than 3, then every extra letter is a lam, is represented by a lam. And the pattern of akrama is, as you know, af'ala. And of qatala is fa'ala. And of farraha is fa'ala. Yani, where's the extra letter? Fa'ala. And extra letter is here in the doubling of the ayn. And extra letter is here. Hamza. He says, rahimahullah, وعلامة بناء هذه الأربعة للفاعل كون الحرف الذي قبل آخره مكسورا أبدا. Now, there's potentially a problem here. Because if this verb is going to start with a dhamma and it's configured for the doer, then how will we be able to tell the difference between that and the one that's configured for the receiver? Yani, so this question supposes the person already has some knowledge about the issue. Like, so he's asking, teacher, didn't we learn that when you configure the verb for the receiver, which they call passive voice, that the MuDaari is going to start with a dhamma? So the answer is yes. So he will say, now this one starts with a dhamma too, but it's configured for the doer? Yes, that's right. So how do we tell the difference then? So the author told us here, وَعَلَامَةُ بِنَاءِ هَذِهِ الْأَرْبَعَةِ لِلْفَاعِلِ. The sign of these 4, the ones that start with a dhamma, being configured for the doer, is كون الحرف الذي قبل آخره مكسورا أبدا. The letter before the last one always having a kasra. The letter before the last one always having a kasra. So here you see, yudahriju, kasra before the last letter. Yukrimu, yuqatilu, yufarrihu, but this kasra here, what we learned that it's not in the right place, should be down here despite the existence of the shadda. Shadda stays up top, kasra comes down below the letter. And the source of this mistake is a glitch in word processing that became standard. Okay, any question? He says, مثاله من يفعل بسم الله مثاله من يفعل بضم العين. So the example of the MuDaari from يفعل with a dhamma on the ayn is ينصر ينصران ينصرون تنصر تنصران تنصرن تنصر تنصران تنصرون تنصرين تنصران تنصرن أنصر ننصر. So it's clear for you, inshallah. ينصر هو. Yansuran is for huma. But don't say taqdiruhu huma. Here you're going to say taqdiruhu huwa. Because there's no pronoun there that we pronounce. But yansurani, don't say taqdiruhu huma. You're going to say the alif. Wal alifu damir. The alif is the pronoun. Same thing. Yansurun. Hum. Not taqdiruhu hum. Rather, the waw is the pronoun. Alif is pronoun for what? Alif is pronoun for two. Wow is pronoun for what? Wow is pronoun for three or more, masculine. Back up. Alif is pronoun for two. Two. Wait a minute. Two what? Because it said the pronouns are speaker, spoken to, and spoken about. Those are the pronouns, not two or three. So Alif is pronoun for what? Two. To what? We need some proof here. This ya is going to prove to us. To what? Two are spoken about. And this wow here is pronoun for three or more, masculine what? This ya proves for us spoken about. And so then you say tansur. So tansur, you're going to say here taqdiruhu anta. But not for tansuran or yansurn. Sorry. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Got ahead of myself there. Taqdiruhu here. Here. You're going to say taqdiruhu here. But not for tansurani and yansurn. Tansuran, pronoun is present. Yansurn, the noon is the pronoun. So there's no taqdir here. And the alif is for two. Two what? Two are spoken about. Wait a minute. You just said two are spoken about. Two are spoken about, and there's ya. Oh yeah, I didn't say something. Up there, two who are spoken about masculine. And down here, two who are spoken about feminine. That's what the tap proves. Yansurna, the noon for three females spoken about. Tansur. Now you're going to say taqdiruhu anta. And we already clarified. Same pronunciation here. Tansuru hiya, tansuru anta. It's not going to be confusing though. The Arabic language is so amazing. Just put the right letter here and put the right vowel there. And limited letters, limited vowels, and have such expansive code. Subhanallah. And also how the letters are interchangeable in this way of script. Subhanallah. So, tansurani antuma, not taqdiruhu antuma. Alif proves the two. The ta proves being spoken about. Masculine here. And there. Feminine. Tansuran is going to be the same expression. Tansuran, you two, masculine or feminine, still not going to be confusing. Insha'Allah ta'ala. Look, if we can say you in English in every single spot, it's not confusing. Then it's not going to be confusing to say tansurani or tansur, for example, in this spot and that spot. Tansurun. Wow is the pronoun, and the tap proves that masculine spoken to. Antum. Tansurin. This ya is the feminine pronoun. Get to know this ya here. I feel that probably you're not familiar with her. So everyone here in the group, if you haven't met ya al-mu'annatha al-mukhataba, or ya al-mu'annatha, yeah, al-mukhataba, that's her name. This ya, this feminine ya, the one who's spoken to. The feminine ya for the one who's spoken to. It appears in fi'l MuDaari and it appears in fi'l amr. Say if'ali anti. Do. So that's pronoun for the female who's addressed. Al-mukhatabah. And singular. Yani. This ya is for mukhatabah. That's singular. Does this ta also indicate singular? I haven't heard. That's a good question. In this particular verb here. Tansurani. So I just told you about Tansurani. Alif is the pronoun. Tansurna, there's that noon again, same noon. Proves a group of females. Group of females. Yes. I get it now. Yeah, okay, the group of females, not the pronoun. Pronoun is one who's speaking, or one who's spoken to, or one who's spoken about. This group of females here, the ta proves that it's spoken to, and then there was the same noon in the other spot here. Same noon, but the ya proved it was spoken about. I hope I said that right. Bismillah. So tansurna antunna. Not taqdiruhu though. Ansur taqdiruhu ana. Nansur taqdiruhu nahnu. So that's where you're going to say taqdiruhu. You're going to say taqdiruhu huwa. And taqdiruhu hiya. Yani. Yes. And taqdiruhu ana, taqdiruhu nahnu. And taqdiruhu anta. All the other ones have their pronouns. Any question? I'm very excited for you if you understand this. MashaAllah. So let me just read this paragraph here. You have more homework. So we're on here in the honor system. You're going to do your own homework here. So the author says, وَقِسْ عَلَى هَذَا. And compare to this, meaning apply the rules of Sarf. يَضْرِبُ كسرة. يَعْلَمُ فتحة. يُدَحْرِجُ starts with Dhamma. Four original letters. وَيُكْرِمُ وَيُقَاتِلُ وَيُفَرِّحُ. Covered all of these. Do the sarf for all of these with all their pronouns. Means you say يَضْرِبُ, يَضْرِبَانِ, يَضْرِبُونَ, تَضْرِبُ, تَضْرِبَانِ, يَضْرِبْنَ, تَضْرِبُ, تَضْرِبَانِ, تَضْرِبُونَ, تَضْرِبِينَ, تَضْرِبَانِ, تضربنا أضرب نضرب. There's the next one. يعلم يعلمان يعلمون, etc. Do the whole paragraph. Do it by the next weekend. That's for you. Even if I don't check it, you can come to the lesson and say my homework's done. And you gotta give yourself time. You got a whole week. But you have to dedicate time if you want to be successful. If you want more than just that you listen to the lesson to enjoy the lesson, and you want to enhance your Arabic, practicing on your own time without being in a ma'had, then though dedicate that time, be consistent. This can be your wird. Studying the knowledge. Some people, they make a point to do some prayer, like tahajjud, or the likes of that, or give a charity, or fast, or do a dhikr, and not to leave it out. So this is no different, whether it's this subject or any of the other knowledge. By you sitting down and reading your text over and over, or by sitting down and rewriting your notes, or by transcribing a lesson. It's very useful, that is, transcribing lessons. Or by memorizing something. You set a time for yourself, an hour, for example, and you set a goal for yourself. You say, this paragraph, I want to memorize it. Or these lines in this ayah, I want to memorize them. These lines of poetry from here to here, this chapter is only 3 lines. I'm going to memorize this, inshallah. But then you have to follow through. Keep going. So, inshallah, I'll ask next week. Anyone have something? You take the verb of your choice. وَيَتَكَسَّرُ يَتَكَسَّرُ يَتَكَسَّرَانِ يَتَكَسَّرُونَ etc. وَيَتَبَاعَدْ وَيَنْقَطِعْ وَيَجْتَمِعْ وَيَحْمَرُ وَيَحْمَارُ وَيَجْلَوِّذ. How many letters there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then, still gonna have fatha in the beginning. How about here? Yahmar. How many letters? 1, 2, 3. Those original letters. Actually, this one has only yani. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Ihmarra. That's originally is 5 though. Ihmarra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ihmarra. So the Maldi. Ijlawad. That's Maldi. How many letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a good review for me here, actually. I'm a little rusty here. Okay. ويستخرج ويعشوشب ويقعنسس. Inshallah, one of you will do that one. ويسلنقي ويتدحرج ويحرنجم ويقشعر. We'll stop there. Any question? Oh, the meanings of the words. I think we took them though. I'll tell you what. Yeah, review. Here. We took those. These are all the examples the author gave us. انقطع ينقطع انقطاعا اجتمع يجتمع اجتماعا احمر يحمر احمرارا etc. احرنجم يحرنجم محرنجاما اقشعر يقشعر اقشعرارا. طيب. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.